It's week 2 of losing weight, choking grown man out, and of course giving back to the world. I started at a clean 381, so it's 10 pounds down from the original weight. Yeah, I'm still morbidly obese, but I've thrown bowling balls that's less than 10 pounds, so it's something to be proud of, I guess. Now, I didn't want to just keep doing jiu-jitsu, so I actually added weight training as well, starting off with a good push day. And the benefit of being over 300 pounds is I could bench over 200 pounds. I also worked on some triceps extensions, and I want to look like a Dragon Ball Z character, Broly specifically, so I was working on some lateral raises, get these shoulders popping. I also do this walking backwards machine thing that's actually been working wonders for my knees, that's been putting in overtime, trying not to buckle under the increased gravity of my cosmic mass. Later on at the Aries East Mesa BJJ studio, Plug, I actually got to roll with Alex, who's the owner and the Supreme Grandmaster Sensei, you know, the top dog. Now, he weighs about 160, which is less than half of what I weigh, but I couldn't do anything against him. This dude took my back platonically, and for the life of me, I could not get him off. Now, I managed to not be submitted, but that was like the most I could do, which really speaks volumes to the fact that jiu-jitsu is really all about skill. I actually asked him afterward how he would have escaped if he was in my position, and he did it with ease, so I added that to my move list. Afterward, I rode with this dude who I actually managed to submit with a shoulder lock, even though the angle is terrible and didn't really show what happened. Just trust me, it did. I'm being honest here, it happened. Now, I don't really know any takedowns yet, but I managed to do this weird thing where I underhooked both his arms and kind of dragged him to the ground and wrapped my legs around him platonically. But then the bell rang. I managed not to get submitted, but I didn't submit him either after that, so I take it as a win. Now, the third dude I rode with, he was at a supreme disadvantage when it came to size and strength, and he didn't have the skill level to compensate for the differential. He initially goes in for a takedown, but I managed to hit him with the old trusty guillotine choke. Later on, I'm actually able to get top mount and submit him with a shoulder lock, but just like the first guy, the angle is horrible. Like, gosh, I would love to just catch someone and it'd be the correct angle on camera, but you just gotta like imagine it. Or maybe like Google Kimura or Americana, the one that the arm is up like this, that's what I'm catching people. It's like this, their arm is like that. All right, just trust me, it's happening. Anywho, we still had some time in the round, so we started off in the ground position. And I actually got to pull off something that I learned that day, which I love, which is this flip thingy. So when they have the bottom position, you kind of like post up and sneak your arms under the knees. Then you stand up and kind of like flip them over their shoulder, and you could get like a dominant position from there. I like it. I get to throw someone around. It's pretty great. Now, I wasn't able to get him in any particular hold from here, but I am getting used to putting my whole weight on someone. Now, the exhaustion from the rounds itself, coupled with the weight of a dying star on his chest, it made him tap out due to pure exhaustion and lack of being able to breathe. He was super cool and, you know, more skilled than me for sure, but, you know, the strength and the weight kind of really took control that match. What can I say? Now, the next guy, he was actually really strong, well over 200 pounds, and he had previous wrestling experience, so I was like, he's gonna give me a run for my money. This is the first time I faced another big guy, and I was excited for it, you know? He wasn't able to submit me, but I wasn't able to submit him either, and I felt the pressure the whole time. I was able to pull off that flip thing again, but again, no submission. So I'm just getting really good at flipping people in a very niche and specific way. So, you know, kudos to that. Anywho, I got back home and I was like, let me prep some chicken thighs, right? Like, why not? I don't want to end up ordering out or eating bad, so a good prepped chicken thigh is a way to go. Now, these are named Chris's legendary chicken thighs, so peep game. You want to take your clean chicken thighs and apply some mustard as a binder. Trust me, you won't taste it. Then you add some garlic salt to taste, and I have this homemade anti-inflammatory herb mix, so I sprinkle some of that on top. I follow it up with some onion powder and some Dominican oregano straight from the island, courtesy of my fiance's side of the family. Now, I don't usually use this Goya Recao thing, but I just wanted to clear the fridge out, so I just kind of put it on there and it was almost out anyway, so boom. And then I put some splashes of lemon juice, and then so the skin gets really crispy, you want to add some baking powder. Trust me, it works. After that, with some gloves on, we mix it all up, making sure you peel that skin back and get all that goodness under there, which is probably triggering for some uncircumcised people, but it's still necessary for the flavor profile to develop. I actually forgot a step that should have happened way before any of the seasoning, but it's vigorously stabbing in chicken like it looked at you wrong in a correctional facility. This allows the flavor to seep in deeper through the well-deserved battle wounds. After that, I preheat the oven to 400 and I throw them babies in for an hour. I then drain all the excess liquid, which actually has a lot of flavor in it and can be used for other things, but I'm just blessing the drain pipes because I'm lazy. I do this so I can throw it back into the oven for a broil, just for a few minutes to finalize that crispy skin. What you're left with is very juicy thighs with a crunchy exterior, very similar to your mom's. Anyway, I roasted some broccoli and some squash, and then I bagged it all up for the week. Headed to the gym for the next day, my tire pressure was low, and since the gas station was charging $2 for air, I was like, nah, let me bust out my handy dandy thingy, I forgot the name, and I just did it myself. I did. I made sure the pressure got to a nice 35 PSI, and after filling up the weakest tire, I was like, you know what, let me do all the tires since I'm here anyway. How often do I get to use the thingy? Now in the gym, it was pool day, so I worked on some back, I worked on some biceps, and of course I did the shoulders and the cardio as well. You know, I'm out here, I'm doing it. In jiu-jitsu later, I managed to catch some dude in a move that I learned that day. Now this move I love because it's a big man move for sure, and what you gotta do is this. You manage to catch him in like a choke, but their head is here, so it's like a back choke, and you kind of have like side mount. So you have their head here, right? They're getting choked out right here, and then you go, while you're choking them, you grab your thigh like this. You grab like your clothing on your thigh like this. Then you manage to grab their leg that's over here, you grab that, you bring it up, and then you grab your other thigh, right? So you kind of have both thighs grabbed, the head here, the leg here, and then you squeeze, you pull your thighs in together, and you squeeze and you crunch them hard. So I did that from a bad angle, of course, but I did manage to make him tap. It was awesome. Then finally, I managed to catch this face in the camera, the shoulder lock that I've been talking about, that I've been alleging this whole time. I managed to catch it facing the camera, so you can see I'm not a liar. I caught him in it. Now this next dude, he had superior skill and a decent weight, but we still wasn't able to submit each other at all. Just a whole lot of movement, but no submissions. I managed to use my incredible strength to not get caught in an armbar despite having his foot in my face. Look at this. Look at his foot right in my face. This is ridiculous. But yeah, the bell rang before anybody tapped, and honestly, it was a good match. I was exhausted. It was great. Now this dude, his name is James. I call him King James, and he talks a lot of smack. He's a smack talker the whole time. He has way more skills than me for sure, but I got him in the size and strength department, and he does not like that. Now a lot of times, even when I'm in a dominant position, I still don't know what to do, so I just kind of laid there trying to figure it out. But then the coach saw it and came over and basically told me this, which is great.
Lift up his head and push down on his chest.
Now, James wasn't happy about it, but I learned a new submission, so who cares, right? Who cares? Afterward, we all bowed and high-fived each other, such as the way of the warrior. Now, moving on to some extracurricular activities. My dog Chai, she thinks everything is a game, so me and my lady need a tag team in order to corner her so we could get her in the car and eventually leave. But she came out the groomers hype and OD adorable, so I'm not mad. How could I be? Look at this face. With her clean, we needed to get the car clean now, and she's never been to a car wash, so it was a great first experience overall for her as well. I loved watching her kind of follow the hands of the people wiping the windows. It's super adorable. Puppy love, OD. I gotta admit. Now, later in the week, me and my lady linked with some friends at a church. We went there to volunteer and help families get affordable gifts for their kids during the holidays. Homie right here was giving me my assignment, which was to help gather and load the gifts into the cars since I'm a strapping young lad. Now, they had a lot of toys and bikes and things for kids of different ages. There wasn't enough carts to go around, so I was just stuffing the gifts in garbage bags at the wrapping stations like a ghetto Santa Claus. At least I got the weight part right. I couldn't have any milk and cookies. It's not part of the diet, but the weight's there, so I'm doing it. Anyway, after packing all the gifts, I would take them to the car, sometimes with help, and I would pack them all in there like a good little boy. It was fulfilling for the soul, I'm not gonna lie, but after all that work, it was time to get fulfilling for the belly. They were serving food, but I stuck to just the eggs and the turkey sausage. I snuck some glances over at the waffles, but only glances. I can't touch them, too many carbs, too much sugar. But I wanted a waffle, I really did. Now, I try to sit on a chair like most people would, but it quickly reminded me that I weigh more than most land mammals, so your boy just ate standing up. One day I'll earn the right to sit on regular chairs again, but until then, the food needs to be eaten at maximum altitude. Later that night, one of our friends was throwing a party at their parents' house to celebrate one of their siblings graduating from college. It was a cowboy themed party, so naturally your boy was the cow. Now, they did have food there, but I was only able to eat chicken and veggies. Everybody else got to enjoy whole tacos, but it's not their fault your boy can't see his toes. The party was fun, people took pictures, they danced, all types of dances while I sat there and recorded like a creep. Now, the father did give an awesome speech, and I didn't record it because it didn't feel right, but I just gotta talk about this dude for a second. Decades ago, he crossed the border from Mexico to escape a life of poverty and violence. He came over here with absolutely nothing. He only had a second grade education at that. He worked tons of odd jobs, he even was picking strawberries on farms, but he grinded and hustled until he was able to get his GED. more hustling, more grinding, and he was eventually able to get a wife, a home, a beautiful home, the one that you saw in that video. And he managed to have 4 awesome kids, 3 of which he already put through college, and the 4th, he said, he's going to put through college, and after that, he'll be able to retire. Now, as someone who didn't grow up with a father figure, and none of my friends had father figures really, this was really incredible to see. I mean, it was really obvious that this dude was like the rock of his family and that everyone around him, from his wife to his kids to his friends, they could rely on him for anything. He made so many sacrifices. He did some of the bravest things you could ever do in your life, and he did it all for the people that he loved. To me, that is a man. That is a real man right there. Before I left the party, I had to shake his hand and compliment him about how awesome he is and how lucky his kids are to have him. And he countered with how lucky he was to have his kids. And I was like, sir, do not be humble right now. It's not the time. So big props to him, man. And anybody out there that's doing what they can for the family, big props to you guys, because a lot of that stuff goes unsung, but I'm singing right now. Y'all are the real MVPs, for real. And so was he. Anyway, I ended the week at 372, which is another 9 pounds down, which is amazing. Now, I'm still on this journey, of course, and I'm going to be updating you guys, but I plan on expanding the content even more, different types of things, so expect some newer kind of videos from me that isn't just weight loss. I'm gonna be trying some things, so stay tuned. To anyone that made it this far in the video, I truly hope that it was inspiring or at the very least entertaining. Anyone out there starting their health journey or on their health journey, just know it's not a race, it's a marathon, and you really just gotta keep going. Please believe in yourself. Please reach the maximum form that you see in your head. It takes grinding, it takes consistency, but it's all worth it in the end, so please don't stop. I'm rooting for you, just like you guys are rooting for me. Besides the health journey, of course, I'm on this YouTube journey, and every like, comment, and subscription helps. I'm trying to get to 100K subscribers. That's one of the first goals, so please subscribe if you're watching this and haven't subscribed yet, and turn on the bell notifications. It does help a lot. With that being said, you know that I love you guys. You know I'm going to see you next time. So with nothing else needing to be spoken, peace. I love you. I'm going to say it again anyway. I love you.